The fifth right turn is transitions, derailers, and balance. In his book Transitions by William Bridges, he points out how change is different from a transition. Change will happen, but transitions are the process of reorienting your inner world to deal with the change. Transitions have an ending, a time in the neutral zone, and the beginning. It is important to make sure you go through the 3 stages, otherwise you don't complete the transition process. As a leader, the first transition is to go from an individual or solo performer to leading others. You have to say goodbye to the carefree life of thinking only of yourself and start thinking of others in your organization. That period of change can feel uncomfortable and unfamiliar. Getting training, reading as much as you can, working with a mentor and a coach can ease this transition. And when the process is over, you are ready for your new beginning as a leader. The next transitions involve growing as a leader, managing a bigger and bigger team. Then you make the transition to being on the management or executive team, and suddenly your perspective shifts from team to organization. The biggest jump is, of course, to president or CEO. During these major career transitions, it is good to be aware of how the transition process can serve you. Ask yourself, first, what needs to end? Or what do I need to let go of as it no longer serves me at the next leadership stage? Second, what do I do when I am in this place of the neutral zone, where nothing has really begun? This may be a time when they have announced your move, but you have not made that move. That's a time of contemplation and a chance to plan and be more proactive instead of reactive when the onslaught of new responsibilities start. Third, what do I need to do now that I am in my new leadership role? What is the legacy I want to create? It is important to know that there are leadership transitions and there are life transitions. When they are happening at the same time, that can be a challenge. It's good to be aware and it's good to get help. There is a saying, don't be shy about asking for help. It does not mean you are weak. It only means you are wise. Life transitions include marriage, the first baby, the toddler years, the teenage years, the empty nest, and retirement. We all wish life was smooth sailing, but that's not how it goes. In addition to managing transitions, there are times when curveballs are thrown, which I call derailers. They could be work-related or personal. Some derailers are, for work, an integrity issue, burnout, which can be overwhelm or underwhelm, challenging work environments, and failure. For life, derailers include sickness or long-term illnesses, marriage challenges or divorce, financial challenges, or death. One of the biggest work derailers is failure. But failure in business is not a real failure. It is a lesson. No experienced business person has never failed. You hit rock bottom, you pull yourself up, you move forward with new knowledge. That is experience like no other. It teaches you confidence, resilience, humility, and gives you a whole lot of wisdom to draw on in the future. The key with failure is to cut your losses before they become too great. Experience it, learn, and move on to the next win. Imagine if you were transitioning into a leadership role and in your life you were also experiencing 1 or 2 derailers. Well, it has happened. And while it can feel overwhelming, all you need to do is to get help. Imagine yourself as a top Olympic athlete, competing for that gold medal. You would never get there on your own. Leaders need help too, as you are Olympic athletes in your own organization. I'll tell you how to get help in the next section. The final right turn is how coaching can help you become a more authentic leader. As a leader myself, I recall all the support and help I was given by my various organizations. There were assessments, 360-degree feedback sessions, case studies, simulations, training, and coaching, and of course work assignments that allowed me to practice everything I learned and stretch myself. A note about assessments. Some leaders don't like them. They feel they are invasive, like you are being watched, a fish in a fishbowl. My perspective was always different. I liked that there was a scientific, unbiased way to gauge my leadership skills. I was happy when I read a strength area, and I saw the weakness as a point of contemplation. I would ask myself whether I wanted to turn the weakness into a strength, as was the case with my weakness in strategic thinking when I was a new leader, or was it an area that I will accept as being part of my authentic leadership? I always saw assessments as a beginning, not the end of my leadership career. In fact, the last assessment I did was a 2-day session that involved 400 questions on a personality test, simulations of how to manage leadership issues and employee demands, and several case studies on how I would solve 2 major leadership issues. I worked with my assessors to understand my results, and my bosses realized that I was ready for more. They had underestimated the skills I had, and as a result, I was given more and more responsibility, and of course, more promotion and pay. So do not fear the assessments. I also want to spend some time talking about coaching. I myself was coached as a leader, and the perspective I gained from the sessions were unique, and I would never have gotten those insights on my own. Here are some things my clients have said about being coached. Please complete the self-assessment. I have given you 6 right turns, and now we are at the end. I built this course and I like working with leaders of all levels because I believe that leadership has a power to transform lives, yours and those around you. And the skills you learn as a leader can honestly serve you as a parent, as a friend, as they are the best that humanity has to offer. When you decide your leadership style, my request is to find a way to make sure it is healthy and functional, as opposed to dysfunctional. Let it encourage communication, sharing, respect, and independence. Leaders have an ability to truly touch lives of their teams, the people they work with, their shareholders and board members, and their clients. Their good work creates a ripple effect, and the best leader's legacy outlives them. I'd like to thank you all for spending this time with me. But I am one journey, one way to find your authentic leadership. There are others, and today we are lucky that there's so much information available. You can read the books I mentioned today. You can read other books. There are many online sources of information, including university online and on-site courses that you can take. Please continue learning. Before we end, let me tell you a little bit about my executive or leadership coaching practice. As a leader myself, The biggest challenge has been the feeling that there were so many challenges and I was unsure how to continually win. And will my winning streak last? But you can feel more confident as you grow into the authentic leader you want to be. You might want to consider working with an executive coach like me. An executive coach is someone trained in coaching and leadership with experience in the business setting. I have a 6 or 12-step process that allows you to feel like you can solve all the challenges that come your way. As you begin your journey, I hope our paths will cross as we travel the road to authentic leadership. Until then, please complete the self-assessment. You may want to write down your answers and keep them along with your notes.